Good evening to the all. This episode we are joined by Dr. Rajib Gogoi, who hails from Moran in Dibrugarh district in Assam. Now he is heading the Sikkim Himalayan Regional Centre of Botanical Survey of India here at Gangtok. Welcome, Dr. Gogoi.
Yeah, thank you.
Would you please tell us initially what is the mandate of Botanical Survey of India?
Botanical Survey of India, we have two mandates mainly. The one is primary, another is secondary. So in the primary mandate, we are the only department under Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, Government of India to document the wild plants of the country. Whatever the plants are available in this country, we are the organization who collect them, bring them to the herbarium, then identify them and keep all the preserved specimens in our herbarium, that the other scientific institute can utilize the data and all the other informations from those plants. That is our primary. And along with that, in the same primary, whatever the data we document, we used to bring them in publications like the National Flora, which is called the Flora of India. That is, we already have completed, and it is in 32 volumes our department has brought out for the nation. Then at the same time, along with the National Flora, we publish state floras. Like that, we have already published many state floras in the country, and many state floras, the work is in progress, because in one state flora, it comes in different, many volumes, like that 2 volumes, 3 volumes. We have already completed a flora of West Bengal, like that other states. We are going to publish the final form, that flora of Gujarat. Like that, many states our works are going on, many volumes already been published. And apart from that, we have to focus the district floras and the protected areas, because district floras are also very important for the stakeholders in those particular areas. At the same time, the protected areas. Protected areas means in India there's lot many national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. So deflorestic data is very important for conservation effort made by the state governments through forest departments and other central departments. And at the same time, a lot other medicinal plants kind of thing and other plants used to be there in different areas. Those documents also you used to prepare. So it comes under primary. And in the secondary, while doing the primary work, what are the plants is we found that they are going to be threatened, or maybe if we will not take scientific measures, they may be lost in the nature. So we have to bring them to our gardens, because in our 17 all regional offices, at least everywhere one garden is attached to it, and there our conservation we used to take up. Like this in Sikkim, we have 2 orchidarium, a part of this conservation for the orchids. Here we have about 300 species of orchids conserved, like that in Shillong, like that in Dehradun, like that in Coimbatore, in Yarkard. Like that we used to conserve, and those are as a part of national conservation effort for the orchids. At the same time, we used to conserve other plants. And while doing the survey, we prioritize and we make the data like that which plants need to be conserved in a priority basis, because all the plants need not to be conserved, because many plants are very common. But when due to some issues, the plants used to get depleted in the nature, then those prioritization is been made by Botanical Survey of India, and that data can be utilized by the other agencies for prioritizing the conservation effort.
Right. And you have joined this institute in the year 2019.
Yes, sir.
Could you please tell us what are the major achievements been made by this department under your guidance?
Actually, in 2019, I have joined, along with other people also have joined. Till then, Botanical Survey of India, which been started here in 1979. So in last 40 years, we were accumulating lot of plant specimen in our herbarium. At the same time, we were documenting and data collecting about the plants of this region. And in 19, we have initiated to bring out the pictorial flora of Sikkim, because this was very important for this region, because Sikkim's economy is primarily depend on tourism, and it is a nature tourism or as ecotourism. So when it is ecotourism and nature tourism, you need to know what are the plants, what are the animals, what kind of this natural treasures are there in that region. So this book we have taken up in a very war-footing way, and we have documented about 5,000 plus plants. And after the documentation of the whole flora, we collaborated with the Department of Forest, Government of Sikkim, and they have funded for the publications, and we have brought out a very illustrated book, the Flora of Sikkim, and pictorial guide. After the analysis, we found that although Sikkim's geography is only 1% or less than 1%, but Sikkim holds about 27% of the floristic wealth of the country. So that's why, and that book was the first book in the country depicting the illustrated flora of a state. And seeing that work, again from Manipur, DBT, Department of Biotechnology, from this IBSD, they also decided to bring out a pictorial flora, and some work has come to Botanical Survey of India. I also was a part of that, and we again brought out another pictorial state flora for Manipur. So apart from these works, we have brought out the rhododendrons of Sikkim and Darjeeling Himalaya, because rhododendron is a very unique asset of Sikkim. Then we have brought out that wild balsams of Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalaya. And we have brought out, in collaboration with Department of Forest, Government of Sikkim, and Sikkim University, the wild medicinal plants of Sikkim, because these wild medicinal plants again is having very important impact in the society, because a lot of medicinal plants are people use day-to-day life, and even there has some economic benefit through these areas. So these are the areas that we need to be focused. And along with this, we have brought out some another very important documents which are very useful for, this is what is called nature conservation or conserving the fragile ecosystems. Like that, we have brought out some of the documents like that flora of the Tembao wetland. Then we have brought out some EIA studies as given by the national highway authorities in the recommendations from the forest department, because those documents were very important to bring out or to go for the construction of the high altitude roads, which will be even in future will be used by our defense forces. So like that, these lot many activities we have brought out. And very recently we have brought out a document called the Southern Silk Route, Sikkim and Kalimpong. This is a very unique kind of a experiment that we have done with my team here from Botanical Survey of India, Sikkim Gangtok, because while working for the flora in the East Sikkim area and the surroundings, so we found those areas are very important from an ancient trade route. So we thought, why only the plants or the biodiversity? We should be considering other areas also, like that, the history of the trade, history of the whole area like Sikkim and Kalimpong. Then again, the ethnicity, the people who dwell those places, what is their culture, what is their ethnic identity or ethnic culinary, all those things we have brought out, and that we have brought out in a very holistic manner. And that book, we have put there about 100 pages of the history of this land along with the biodiversity. Then the what are the issues related to the sustainable tourism and sustainable nature conservation. All these things we have brought out, that these can be utilized by the other stakeholders in their own areas of work.
Right. And recently, some chief minister has also, attributed your works through the social media post. We also want to know your personal journey. You did your master degree in Guwahati University.
Yes.
So from Guwahati University, you have a long career in this field. So would you please tell us your journey so far?
Actually, just recently, our Assam Chief Minister has written something about me in his social media pages. So just I want to elaborate here what was actually the issue. I joined this department in Shillong, and therefrom I went to Arunachal Pradesh. When I was in Shillong, then we have worked out the flora of Juku Valley, which is a very unique, pristine area in the borders of Manipur and Nagaland. When I came to Arunachal Pradesh, I have been given by the department to work with the balsams, which is a genus called Impatiens in the family Balsaminaceae. They are very important economically, because those plants having very beautiful flower, which can be utilized with the scientific interventions to develop some horticulturally important plants. And at the same time, those plants are very important from environment point of view also, because they are so sensitive environmentally. If something is adversely impacting the environment, then those plants will be leaving those areas and they will be going to more very pristine and virgin areas. So that's why these kind of plant groups need to be documented, and we should try to understand their ecological behavior and all those things. So when I was there, we started documenting the taxonomy. Particularly, we was not knowing about those plants not very much. British, when left India in 1947, afterward, there was very little intensive work on this group. So my team, myself and Saurabh Juti Bora, we took up the whole study, and we have in about 4 to 5 years discovered, which was not known to science, about 20 species of plants, and those have been published globally in some very reputed important journals. And recently also when I joined Sikkim, then also we have taken up the same study here also. Here also we have discovered another 2 species along with my student Norbu Sherpa and my collaborators like Dr. Samuel Len, and we have brought out 1 book here and 1 book from Arunachal and the Eastern Himalayan region. So it is already, the process was going on. Very recently in Switzerland, one journal called Horticulture, they have published a world review in the last 50 years who are the people have contributed immensely on this subject of Balsaminaceae, and these authors were mainly from the Chinese people. Scientists only has made this world review, and in that world review myself have been identified among the top 10 scientists who have contributed in this science. Excellent. And I was placed 4th position within the 10 scientists to globally contribution in last 50 years for this study. So being I am a person from Assam, so our Honorable Chief Minister sir has little written in that it was a very encouraging moment for us, for whole of my team and all the people. Right. And I'm very happy because in that review, in that study, they have highlighted my department, Botanical Survey of India, among top 5 institutions in the world who has contributed immensely for study of this subject. So it is very important because other 4 departments, major 2 departments maybe from United States of America, 1 from China and another 1 from Belgium or something like that, and Botanical Survey of India from India is also there. So this is a matter of pride as an Indian that we are also trying to do some contribution for better understanding of the science of this subject.
Right. And sir, finally, as you already mentioned, this state is known for its ecotourism.
Yes, sir.
People from across the globe visit here to see this flora and fauna, its natural beauty. So what role is being played by your organization along with other stakeholders to preserve it?
Actually, this is very important question. Botanical Survey of India, as I have told already, our 2 things, that documentation and conservation. So first, if you have something, it is in terms of nature or natural resources, you need to know what are the things that you have. So when you will know that I have this, then your adequate way of planning is very important for utilization of those things. So if the things will be not sustainably being utilized, then one day that will be depleted and that will be lost from that, and that resource from which you are supposed to get more benefit, maybe you will be not getting that more benefit. So that's why research is very important for natural these type of things, flora and fauna. And Botanical Survey of India, as we are focusing on these floristic aspects, and our data are being utilized by all the other agencies, associated agencies as stakeholders who deals with this, and that's why to promote sustainable tourism, these data are very important because tourists may go all the places, or some of the plants in high Himalayas or in the fragile areas which are there, may people think that these plants are available everywhere. But because of our study, you will know that many of the plants are very limited to specific areas. And if we will be not documenting and bringing out all these documents, then this knowledge will be not available for the public. And due to that, there is maximum chances of depletion and extinction and this type of adverse negative impacts. So that's why these studies are very important, and BSI's documents are helping all the agencies like the Department of Forest, Tourism, other institutes who are working documentation of medicinal plant, conservation of medicinal plants, and even conservation of high altitude lakes. And even while we are working for the mega projects like the roads, bridges, then dams and all these things, because if somewhere in a construction site of a dam some rare plants are there, our documents will be helping the agencies to rehabilitate them, and appropriate way that conservation effort will be taking place.
Okay. Again, thanks very much to Dr. Gogoi for giving your valuable inputs and your time. I must hope that our listeners will be benefited. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here in the program. Thank you.